Hey guys, it's Quills, and fun fact about me is that I really like thrifting. I don't know, it's the gathering aspect, you would say. And besides all of the outrageous Christmas things that I've already seen, considering it's like late October, I have seen so many cool like little trinkets at the thrift store, so I thought it'd be really cool to do a challenge where I kind of character design them. I know this is already done to death, but I thought I would try it myself because I have seen a lot of people do it and it's really cool. So obviously we have to start with the granddaddy of thrift store finds, which is the antique clock, and I really like the look of this. It's really heavy when I picked it up, and it had like batteries, so obviously it could still work, but I didn't end up getting it, but I really like the look of it. I love how antique it looks. I don't know how old this is, but it's giving me like old, elegant man, you know? So that's kind of how I drew it as. I kind of assumed that all of these things would kind of be like characters that would interact with each other, and this is definitely like the old man that is like hosting the ball of the town, and everyone knows him, and he's quite nice, and no one suspects him to be a murderer because he's not. He's the red herring of the story, you see. So that's basically how I drew him. I really like the leaf designs and the elegant little like details on the clock, so I thought it'd be really cool to add that along the like suit. I'm really bad at drawing men's fashion, I'm gonna be honest, so that's why 2 out of 3 characters are very like masculine dressing, because I just think I need to practice more with it. I've drawn a lot more women compared to men, so I thought I would try to challenge myself by drawing more men. Let me just say, when I looked up like men's suit on Pinterest, I was super disappointed because they all look the same. Like, they all looked the same. It was all just like a black suit, and I was kind of bored, so I had to look up fantasy outfits, and that made it a little bit better. But like, my gosh, these men's fashion is really like lacking. I really expected like swords or something, or like at least more capes. I expected more capes. I did not see any capes. I thought it'd be really cool for this character to have like the inside of the cape kind of look like the clock, so I drew the like little numbers on the inside. And besides that, I did kind of just want to make this not obvious that he's a clock, but like clock motifed, as one could say. So I drew like the little hands on the necktie and also his belt, but I also wanted to draw more attention to the like little patterns on it, so I put it on like the edge of his pants, and I tried to include a lot of it on his hat too. I also am disappointed with the lack of hats that I've seen in like men's fashion, but whatever. So I put some on his hat, and yeah, no, I just imagined this guy as like the dapper gentleman of the town that everyone knows and is really chill with, and the red herring because everyone thought that he murdered the person at his party, but it was his party and he was already hosting, so of course he wouldn't have murdered it because he was already busy at the party, but everyone suspected it was him because, you know, he was hosting it, but it wasn't him, it was someone else. That is basically the vibe I got in this. I made sure to do this in my own style just because lately I have been practicing with like other people's style and trying to work on like improving certain aspects like the coloring and the line art, but I wanted to do this in my own style just so that it didn't take like 3 hours, and also because I feel like a character design like these would really work for like a webcomic or like a storybook kind of feel, so that's kind of how I illustrated them, and like you could definitely see these as illustrations and stuff. The pattern on his jacket took me for ever, but I'm really happy with how it came out because I think the pattern looks really cool. Coloring didn't really take that long either, which I'm kind of happy for because you guys know I hate coloring, but I'm happy that I was able to kind of just like eye drop all of the colors, considering that would take me forever. I know I did a lot of rough sketches and I kind of just ignored some of that, but that's just what happens sometimes when I ink. I just change my mind, which is okay. I don't think you need to really stick by your rough draft, but just I didn't stick by mine either, so that's my opinion on it. Yeah, no, I really like how this came out. I feel like I really should have done more. I was a little too late to realize that there were instrument motifs on the clock. Like there was literally like a violin on the clock, and I didn't really see that because I totally would have added that somewhere, but I ended up just doing like a vague violin-y lute shape on his pants that you can't really see because I didn't highlight them, so that was my mistake. But I still really like how it came out. Let's just ignore the shoes, by the way, because I am not the best shoe illustrator, but I think it still came out really well. I like how the cape thing turned out. I don't really know what to think of it. I think it is a cape, but it's like a half cape. I don't know, maybe he's cold or something. Maybe it's a blanket. I don't know. I assume it's a cold night. So on this cold night cape, I really like how it came out. I think I did try to make it look clocky, which is really, really cool. So it does really give that like he's an old clock thing. I gave him a monocle because why not? And I really like the color scheme because it kind of reminded me of Oreos, and I like Oreos, and that is my 2 cents on that. So this design came out really well. I'm really proud of it. Again, coloring made me think of Oreos, and I'm really proud of that. So that is Mr. Clocksworth because I am not creative enough for the name, and I think he just looks like a Mr. Clocksworth, you know? Okay, I feel like this next one is such a staple for like every thrift store because of course, you guys will find a frog statue. because there was more. I really should have taken actual like video of the amount of frog statues, but this one is my favorite. He just looks like such a handsome little guy, so of course I had to draw them. I'm gonna say this one is non-binary, but mostly dressed as masculine just because they gave me that vibe, you know? So this is a they, them. I drew them more masculine just because they're okay with that. And I really like the pose that I came up with. It looks very like, I know what I'm doing kind of person, which is what I'm trying to be in art because goddess posing is still really hard for me. But I really like how this came out. I really wanted to implement the like reading and the ladybug, so I made the like little cane, the ladybug. And the outfits that I found for this reference were a lot better than the first one. I think I just got better at searching on Pinterest for this. I will say that this like corset thing that I drew for them was really annoying because I wanted it to give the like shape and outline of like the lily pad, but it was just really hard to show and I didn't want to ruin the line that I already had there. So I made sure to like have the lily pad be the outer cape, which is basically like this huge big skirt petticoat thing. I don't really know what to call it, but I saw it a lot in the Pinterest, so I guess I'm gonna add it here. And I made the hair really basic. I just wanted to pay more attention to like the colors and the crown thing. The crown was really fun to draw, by the way. I feel like a lot of people already know about the myth about, you know, kissing the frog, you know, Princess and the Frog, that kind of stuff. So I wanted to also give that kind of vibe with like the storybook and the like charming aspect of this character. I don't know, I just think they're really nice. I also gave them heels just because I felt like it. I am really proud of the outfit I came up with. I don't know if it really screams frog. The colors were also kind of a struggle for me because I got to color pick and I don't think that I chose a good color palette for like everything on here, but I think I did pretty well with the like yellows and the orange and the little red sprites. I think I did pretty well over there. I feel like this is definitely the character that no one suspects to be the murderer at the ball, but they are like kind of a suspect just because they like got uncovered by something during the party and everyone sees them as like a shady suspect, but it's still not them because they were busy like reading or something. I don't know. They were doing something else at the party and they're not actually the murderer, but this was definitely a good contender because no one would have suspected them in the first place. You know how it be. As you guys can tell, I really like murder mystery stories, so I really like how this came out. I made sure to put the lily pad motif on like the petticoat and the cape. I made sure to add the lily pad. I made sure the book was in there because obviously they're like reading. I want them to be very studious, but I still wanted to obviously give it the theme of like, you know, fancy frog kind of outfit. I don't know if it read out as that, but I tried my best and I just had a really good time drawing this. I knew this one took me a while just because the colors were annoying the hell out of me, but I still had a really good time overall. It was really fun coloring the line art for this one. Yeah, no, the yellows and the green worked really well together and whoever made this statue, like props to them. It's adorable and I really like how they turned out. I feel like this is definitely the character of like, oh, I was born into royalty, but I don't really care too much about it. I don't really see myself succeeding or like taking over the throne, so I'm just here to have a good time, but I'm just going to enjoy royalty anyway, because let's be honest, I feel like that would be some of us if we were in this lineage, just because I don't know if a lot of people would want the responsibility of being royalty. I just realized I'm like not talking about the drawing anymore, but that is the vibe it came out. I really like this drawing. I think it was definitely a weird like character design challenge that I never thought I would draw, but I'm kind of happy I did because now I have ideas for next time, or at least ideas for something similar to this. I didn't really think drawing a frog prince. I don't know what the gender neutral term for prince is now that I think about it. Frog royalty, I'll say, was really fun, and I really like how they came out. I put their name as Frodrick because punning, but I really should find better gender neutral names. So if you guys want to leave a name in the comments down below for this gender neutral character, that would be really fun. Yeah, I really liked how it came out. It was really fun. I really liked the statue. I liked looking at it. I feel like I definitely annoyed a lot of people by filming in the thrift store, but it was really fun, and I really like how it turned out. Okay, so this one was really weird because I'm showing you clips of it right now. I don't really know what this is. It looked like a statue, but it also looks like it was hand painted somehow, or not hand painted, like handmade somehow. It kind of looked like someone made it. Like, it was also heavy, by the way. It wasn't just like plastic or fake glass, but it really felt like it was dense glass that someone made by hand. I think it was like a seal or something in the middle. There was like some type of animal in the middle, and then it was encased in this semi-gold glass cage. I don't really know what was happening in here. Anyway, I had to draw it, so obviously I wanted to make it into like a bird cage type dress because I know I've seen those around and god, they look really pretty. This is definitely the most suspicious candidate for the murder in the ballroom, but it definitely still wasn't her because she was doing her own thing, and then you're gonna get into the part of the story where she actually just has a lot going on, and that's why she's not as talkative as the other nobles. But she's definitely like a possible candidate at first, but that's just because a lot of people didn't like her, and it was kind of just up to bullying. So I think this one gave me a lot of stress because, you know, it was a cool item to pick up, but as a character design, it was so weird because it's very glassy, and I didn't want to make a character just out of glass. I feel like that would be a little too boring, so I wanted the dress to still be out of glass, which by the way took me forever to draw. And I did want to give her some color. It was just really hard because a lot of it was translucent, so a lot of the like color picking that I did was definitely from my own skin through the translucent glass, but I still wanted to make her a person of color. I wanted to give her some visual interest besides just being gold and glassy, so I made sure to add some really cool visual interest in the hair. I really think the like teardrop effect would be really cool, so I added it as like the bottom of the dress, and I wanted to include a lot of ruffles because there's like weird ruffling of like glass at the bottom, and I thought that was really cool. So I imagined her to be like a ballerina, obviously with like the shoes and the whole getup, but I feel like she would be like maybe an entertainer of some sort, but still like very secretive, and that's why everyone kind of just calls her shady, and it's up to like bullying to people thinking that it's her just because they're jealous of her. I think that would definitely be the plot of her arc, but she's a very nice person as I had canon. So I wanted to implement the gold obviously, and I put it all over the design, but I didn't want to make it like the focal point considering the actual item was not made entirely of glass, so I still tried to include this white creamish type color, and then I wanted the like bottom of the birdcage to kind of look translucent, which took me forever to draw, by the way. I don't know how other people illustrate translucentness. I actually looked up some tutorials and I still quite don't get it, but that's the thing that I learned the hard way. Considering the Mr. Clocksworth took a while to do his patterning, I made sure for this one that I just drew the patterning and then put a overlay on top of it so I didn't have to draw it the entire time. And weird stupid thing, by the way, this is probably not like historically accurate, but I wanted to give her a little seal tattoo just so that I could introduce the seal in the design in some type of way. I think the seal is really cute, okay? I wanted to put the seal somewhere. The seal is here now. So Mr. Seal is on her arm. I know it doesn't look like a seal, but I have a seal plushie and it looks exactly like that, so I'm gonna say it looks like a seal. Yeah, I really also wanted to introduce curls in her hair. I know there's not like a big curly aspect in the items design, but I think all of the like little glassy parts, when they came together at the bottom, it did look very like loose and messy, which is kind of what I wanted to do with her hair. Not the like messy or loose part, because obviously her hair is very like tightly coiled, but I did want to put that like visual interest of like a lot of things going on. I am not someone who draws a lot of curly hair, I'm gonna be honest, mostly because I think I'm just so used to drawing my hair, which is very like straight and thick. I should really try to introduce other types of hair into my art, which is something I really wanted to do for her. I wanted to add a hair stick just because I feel like that would totally work for her, especially if I made it gold to add more gold aspects. I think that would look really cute. And this one took me a while, but I was still really happy about it. But I will say I was really disappointed with myself because I took like a break and I full on forgot to unpause my recording, so you're gonna see a big jump between like coloring and like it actually being done, and I'm so sorry for that. I promise I didn't like fake anything and I actually colored it myself. I was just really silly and forgot to unpause, but I promise I did it all myself because I am not one of those types of people. So this is how she came out. I wanted to introduce her name as Glasserin just because, you know, glass pun, haha. I'm sorry, I'm really bad with the puns this time, but I still really like how it came out and I think she looks freaking cool. I don't know, this is definitely the character that you are intimidated of at like a party, but once you get to know her, she's like really sweet, even though she does look very secretive, just because I added the secretiveness over the fact that I still don't quite know what this item is supposed to be. You can't really hang it up, there's no space to like hold it on top. I think it really just is something handmade for someone, which is really cool, but also really sad that it ended up at the thrift store. But that is how they came out, and I'm really proud of all of their designs. It really does seem like a really cool mishmash of characters at like a ball type party. I feel like this would definitely be a really interesting like one-off webcomic or something, which I mean, now that I'm talking about that, I feel like I should just write myself because this is getting really entertaining. Next time I go to the thrift store, I'm definitely adding to this roster and actually like wanting to do a whole murder mystery, but I really like how they came out and I'm really proud of all of the like new aspects aspects I tried to do with each and every one of them. Again, patterns is kind of hard, colors was really hard, that like glassiness that I had to add on Glasseran was really interesting, but I'm happy that I learned something because I think that is the whole point of art. Let me know your guys' thoughts, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you next time. Bye!